today's session on EduTap, in which we will be covering the most important JND ESI current affairs from the exam point of view. And once again, a warm welcome to all of you in this today's CT 360 series session, in which we cover the most important JND ESI current affairs from the exam point of view. And today I'm going to discuss the most important news articles from 25th to 26th of October 2024. And let me tell you that all the aspirants who are preparing for RBI, NABARD and the EDA exam, guys, these sessions are really going to play a very important role in your journey of becoming officer in your desired organization. And when I talk about the EDA exam aspirants, let me tell you guys that this is the month of October, which is really very important for your exam preparation. That's why you have to make sure that you are preparing for the October month current affair from your exam point of view very comprehensively, right? So I believe that I'm audible and visible to all of you. Right? So it's really a good time to start with the today's session, and before starting it, let us first go through the agenda of the today's session, the topics that we are going to cover in the today's session, which includes Global Hunger Index, one of the very important topics. Let me tell you that the Global Hunger Index was basically launched a few days back, but yes, we are covering this index in our today's session because it is really very important report that is required to be covered. Apart from that, so this is the topic that is relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2 of your exam, and the remaining topics are relevant for your only phase 1 of the exam, right? So these are the topics that we will be covering in the today's session. So let's start the session with the very first topic. So very good evening to all the people here who have joined us live, Avinash and all the people who are present here. So guys, start karte apna session, and here you can see the United Nations goal to ensure zero hunger by 2030 seems unattainable. So guys, we all know that we are having basically sustainable development goals that we want to achieve by year 2030, and zero hunger is also a very important goal that has been inculcated in the sustainable development goals list, right? So basically you can see here from the headline that yes, it is the zero hunger which seems unattainable for the world, which is being set by the United Nations, a goal for everyone that yes, we want to achieve the zero hunger by 2030. So let me tell you that as we are having the goal of achieving zero hunger by 2030, we must have some kind of performer, we must have some kind of way in order to which we can definitely measure that what exactly is the level, what is our progress of achieving zero hunger by 2030. Let's take an example that this is the timeline of 2030 by which we want to achieve zero hunger. So we require a kind of way in order to which, with the help of which we can definitely measure that what exactly is the today's level and what exactly and when exactly we will be reaching this particular time. And that is why every year we see the Global Hunger Index which has been released. And this year, guys, this particular index basically also brings out a very important topic of the gender equity, as it states that it's not just the food, it's also the gender equality which is really going to play a very important role in achieving the goal of zero hunger across the world. तो अगर हम बात करते हैं किसी भी रिपोर्ट की, I always tell you that you have to cover the report across 5 dimensions which are there. That is the releasing body of the report, then we have to cover the dimensions of the report, about section of the report, key findings, key rankings, key recommendations. And let me tell you, in this session I will be covering all these important dimensions for your reports. So when I talk about the Global Hunger Index, the very first thing that we need to cover here is that which is the releasing body for this report, and this report is released by the World Hunger Health Concern Worldwide and the Institute for International Law of Peace and Armed Conflict. So this is basically the report which tracks the level of hunger which is there across the world, which tracks the places where we are really required to take a certain measure so that we can really identify the places. Okay, this is the place where we need to where the governments are required to intervene in order to make sure that at that particular place the severity of hunger is really low. And that's why we are having the Global Hunger Index, which basically tracks the state of hunger worldwide by region and country and identify the places where the action to address hunger is required. And these Global Hunger Index ranks the countries on the basis of a GHI score, which is basically based on 4 indicators. Now what exactly these 4 indicators are? These 4 indicators include undernourishment, that is basically related to the calories intake. Insufficient calorie intake jab kisi ka hoga, we call it as undernourishment. Then we are having child stunting. Child stunting, guys, so basically it is the low height of a child as per their age. So this is called the child stunting. Then we are having child wasting, in which the child has basically low weight with respect to his or her height. That is called the child wasting. तो child wasting में क्या है, आपके height के according weight कम है. Then in the child stunting what we see that as per their age, according to their age, उनकी height कम है. After that we are having the child mortality. That means the children who basically lost their life before completing their 5th birthday. So these are the 4 indicators which are being used by the Global Hunger Index in order to assess the severity of hunger levels across the world. And let me tell you, my dear friends, when we talk about these particular 4 indicators, again there is a different composition, different weightage of these 4 indicators in the Global Hunger Index. And with the help of these 4 indicators, this particular index makes a scale of 0 to 100. Where 0 shows that there is a low hunger in the country and 100 shows that there is a high hunger. That means the hunger levels is really very high in that particular country. So एक 0 से 100 के स्केल पर ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स के जरिए हंगर लेवल्स को यहाँ पर असेस किया जाता है. ठीक है, I hope this is clear to all of you. Now when we talk about the composition of the global hunger index, so you can see here that when we talk about undernourishment, it is having the weightage of 33%. The child stunting is having the weightage of 16.6%. Child wasting is again having a percentage, the weightage of 16.6%, while child mortality is again having the weightage of 33.33%. And overall we get the GHI score, on the basis of which the countries are being divided across the different categories, which includes low hunger, moderate hunger, serious, alarming and extremely alarming, as per the score that they have achieved in the GHI index. So you can see here that अगर किसी country का score 9.9 से कम है या उसके equivalent है, then it is being taken under which category? Under the low category. Then if the score is between 10 to 19.9, it will be under the moderate category, and so on, as mentioned in this particular table. I hope that this is clear to all of you. So Sneha is having the question that कि session recorded भी रहेगा. Definitely Shreya, let me tell you, एक YouTube live session है, आप इसको बाद में recording भी इसकी देख सकते हैं, ठीक है. बट बेनिफिट रहेगा अगर आप लाइव सेशंस को यहां पर अटेंड करते हैं तो. सो गाइस, दिस इज बेसिकली द कंपोजिशन ऑफ द जीएचआई स्कोर्स एंड देयर सिविरिटी डेजिग्नेशन, कि कितने स्कोर पे क्या पर्टिकुलर लेवल रहेगा उस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री का. ठीक है, अब हम बढ़ते हैं इंपॉर्टेंट रैंकिंग्स की तरफ. एंड लेट मी टेल यू दैट देयर आर 22 कंट्रीज इन दिस पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स. एज पर द इंडेक्स देयर आर 22 कंट्रीज जिनका स्कोर 5 से नीचे था. तो उन्होंने इन पर्टिकुलर कंट्रीज को इंडिविजुअली रैंक करने की बजाय दे हैव बेसिकली रैंक्ड 1 to 22. ठीक है, कलेक्टिवली उन्होंने यहां पर फर्स्ट रैंक दिया है इन सभी पर्टिकुलर कंट्रीज को. ठीक है, एंड दिस इंक्लूड बेलारूस, बोस्निया, China, Costa Rica, etc. Now guys, when we talk about the other important rankings, so other important rankings, we always tell you that what exactly is very important. We have to cover the top 5, but यहाँ पर 1 to 22 जो कंट्रीज हैं यहाँ पर उनको हमने फर्स्ट रैंक दिया है, तो यहाँ पर टॉप 5 कवर करने की कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. बट द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज द इंडियाज रैंक इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. When we talk about India, India was positioned 105 in this particular GHI index for the year 2024, and you can see that India has made a progress, as India's score was 29.3 and it is now 27.3. The score has reduced from 29.3 to 27.3. In the last year index, India's rank was 111 and now it has reduced to 105. So basically it shows that yes, India has made an improvement in the global hunger index. Now when we talk about the bottom worst performing countries, so it was the Somalia which was the worst performing country at the 127th position. And the score of Somalia was 44.1. But यहाँ पर सबसे important क्या है हमें? The most important thing is the India's position is very important. India's rank last year is important, and India's score is really very important to be covered from exam point of view. Now guys, I have already told you about this part. The 111 was the score, or was the rank of India in the previous edition of the index. And now when we talk about the category wise जो indicators हैं हमारे, अंडर नरिशमेंट, चाइल्ड वेस्टिंग, चाइल्ड स्टंटिंग, चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग इंडिया की क्या परफॉर्मेंस रही है. सो यू कैन सी हियर दैट 13.7% of the population in our country is undernourished as per the report from 2021 to 2023. From 2019 to 23, 18.7% of the population of the children are suffering from child wasting. Similarly, 35.5 are suffering from child stunting and 2.9 are basically suffering from child mortality. ठीक है, तो 2.9% of the children under 5 years of old have basically lost their life in year 2022 before celebrating their 5th birthday, and this is some important data that you can definitely mention as well and you can definitely remember as well from the exam point of view. ठीक है, तो ये इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. अगर हम बात करते हैं अंडर नरिशमेंट की, तो इट इज 13.7. 18.7 है चाइल्ड वेस्टिंग एंड ऑलमोस्ट डबल है चाइल्ड स्टंटिंग, दैट इज 35.5, और चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी है 2.9. ठीक है, आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू गाइस. तो दीज आर द इंपॉर्टेंट रैंकिंग्स दैट वी नीड टू कवर. इंडिया की पोजीशन क्या है? 105 है. लास्ट ईयर इंडिया की पोजीशन क्या थी? इट वाज 111. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now moving on to the other important key findings of this report, and the most important thing is that we have covered that yes, okay, this was the India score, but what exactly was the score at the world level? तो collectively world level पे क्या score था ये भी cover करना काफी important है. तो world level पे देखें तो the score was 18.3 and you can see here that it is classified in the moderate category. जो हमारा world level score it is 18.3 and it is classified as moderate category. As it there was a decline of the score from 18.8 to 18.3. जब हम बात करते हैं most severe regions across the world, it includes Sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, where the hunger really remains a very serious concern for the nations. And when we talk about this particular report, guys, and even in the first headline that we have captured, so there also it was mentioned that hunger is alarming in the 6 countries. वो कौन सी 6 countries हैं? These 6 countries are Burundi, Chad, Madagascar, Somalia, South Sudan and Yemen. So ये 6 ऐसी countries है जिनको specifically notify किया है Global Hunger Index के अंदर that the situation of hunger in these countries is really alarming. And when I talk about India, अगर हम बात करते हैं इंडिया की, तो India is also in the serious category. ठीक है, तो इंडिया कौन सी कैटेगरी के अंदर फॉल करता है? इंडिया इज इन द कैटेगरी ऑफ सीरियस कैटेगरी एज पर द ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स. एंड guys, as we are having the target of achieving the zero hunger by 2030, but this report mentions a very interesting point that we are not at all on the track of reaching the zero hunger levels. And जो हमारी progress है, the rate of progress that we are having right now, if we will be following with the same progress, we will be able to achieve this particular level by 2160. That means 2160 पे we will be achieving the zero hunger. That means 130 years away we are still in order to achieve the goal that we want to, that we target to achieve by 2030. I hope कि ये point आप सभी को एकदम clear होगा. तो एक काफी important point है which basically tells us that what exactly is the progress that we are having right now to achieve the zero hunger level. Then when we talk about India, India is having the highest child wasting rate globally. And you must make sure that yes, you remember this data, as India is having the highest child wasting rate globally. So all the IRDAI aspirants, guys, let me tell you that such kind of data can be asked in the exam. India की रैंक आपके यहाँ पर एग्जाम में डेफिनेटली पूछी जा सकती है, तो मेक श्योर कीजिए कि आपको ये पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट एकदम याद है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, दिस रिपोर्ट स्टेट्स, अगर हम करंट पेस की बात करते हैं तो 2030 तक सिर्फ 64 कंट्रीज ऐसे हैं जो कि लो हंगर लेवल्स पर पहुंच पाएंगे. Basically that means that their GHI score will be less than or equal to 9.9. तो 64 countries ही पहुंच पाएंगे and it will be taking really more years. 2160 तक we will be achieving the sustainable development goal number 2, that is zero hunger, that we want to achieve by 2030. So these are the most important data from this report that we need to remember. Apart from that, let me tell you that just providing the data is not the enough part from the report. We are also required to cover the recommendations, that how exactly, see, this report has mentioned, okay, this is the problem, this is the current status, but how exactly we can improve, that is very important. And the recommendation this report which gives, it states about strengthening accountability to the international law. जो international laws हैं, enforceability है, तो उनको हमें बहुत अच्छे से यहाँ पर implement करना है. This report also mentions about promoting gender transformative approaches. So this report basically mentions that gender equality होनी चाहिए हर एक चीज के अंदर, be it the right to food, be it to the services, be it to the job, be it to the education. अगर हर एक particular parameter में, अगर हर एक indicator में हम gender equality को introduce करेंगे, definitely the performance of the countries across the world for zero hunger is gonna improve in the upcoming timeline. Then इन्वेस्टमेंट्स मस्ट बी इंटीग्रेटेड एंड प्रमोट जेंडर, क्लाइमेट एंड फूड जस्टिस. तो आप देख सकते हो कि जेंडर के ऊपर यहाँ पर बहुत ज्यादा फोकस किया गया है in the Global Hunger Index 2024. ठीक है, सो गाइस अगर आप सभी को ये रिपोर्ट एकदम क्लियर है तो प्लीज मुझे एक थम्स अप दीजिए चैट बॉक्स के अंदर दैट यस वी आर वेरी मच क्लियर विद दिस रिपोर्ट एंड ऑल द इंपॉर्टेंट डिटेल्स दैट वी नीड टू कवर फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर रिपोर्ट फ्रॉम द एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. अगर हम फिर से रिवाइज करें तो देयर आर टोटल 4 इंडिकेटर्स व्हिच आर देयर इन दिस रिपोर्ट व्हिच इंक्लूड्स अंडर नरिशमेंट, चाइल्ड वेस्टिंग, चाइल्ड स्टंटिंग, देन वी हैव द चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी. अगर हम बात करते हैं इंडिया की तो इंडियाज रैंक वाज 105, लास्ट ईयर इंडियाज रैंक वाज 111 and this year India basically is in the serious category, right? तो इंडिया सीरियस कैटेगरी में लाई करता है. अगर हम वर्ल्ड लेवल का स्कोर देखते हैं इट इज 18.3 एंड इट इज इन द मॉडरेट कैटेगरी. तो ये सभी डिटेल्स हमें याद रखनी है फ्रॉम एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू व्हिच कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द एग्जाम. ठीक है, सो दिस वाज ऑल फ्रॉम द topics which are relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2. Now we will be covering quickly the topics which are relevant for only phase 1 of the exam. And the very first topic here is about the Mormugao Port Authority, जिसको यहाँ पर एनवायरमेंटल शिप इंडेक्स के अंदर यहाँ रिकॉग्नाइज किया गया है एज अ इंसेंटिव प्रोवाइडर. सो मोरमुगाओ पोर्ट अथॉरिटी हैज रियली अचीव्ड दिस पर्टिकुलर माइलस्टोन ऑफ बीइंग आइडेंटिफाइंग एंड रिकॉग्नाइज्ड ग्लोबली एज द इंसेंटिव प्रोवाइडर on the environmental ship index. ठीक है, तो उसको लिस्ट किया गया इस पोर्टल पे which has been acknowledged by International Association of Ports and Harbors. And this really this particular achievement of Mormugao Port Authority basically reflects the way that they have basically adopted the sustainable practices. तो sustainable practices को उन्होंने adopt किया है, green practices को adopt किया है, and that is why they have basically been listed on the environment ship index. ठीक है, और ये दिखाता है उनकी कमिटमेंट को टू प्रमोटिंग एनवायरमेंट फ्रेंडली प्रैक्टिसेस फॉर द सी गोइंग वेसल्स. And let me tell you guys that Mormugao port was also the first port in our country to introduce green ship incentive, जिसका नाम था basically it was a हरित श्रेय इंसेंटिव. जो पोर्ट का इंसेंटिव प्रोग्राम था दैट इज हरित श्रेय, जिसके अंदर इन्होंने काफी सारे जो हमारे वेसल्स हैं उनको यहाँ पर benefits दिए थे. And this was launched in October 2023. As you can see here that as a part of this incentive it offers discounts on the port charges. जो पोर्ट के चार्जेस हैं उनके ESI स्कोर के ऊपर उन पर्टिकुलर जो हमारे शिप्स हैं उनको यहाँ पे ऑफर दिया जाता है on the basis of their ESI scores, right? So Mormugao port is the authority which has basically been recognized. This is the part we need to remember here. Now the next part is the Maritime Partnership Exercise which has been recently conducted between Indian Navy and the German Navy. और यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो कि इसको इंडियन ओशन में कंडक्ट किया गया है और उसका जो दूसरा फेज है that will be conducted in the Bay of Bengal. ठीक है, तो this is the Maritime Partnership Exercise. इससे पहले हमने कवर किया था गैस नसीम और बहल एक्सरसाइज को. क्या कोई मुझे बता सकता है कमेंट सेक्शन के अंदर that in the previous sessions we have covered the नसीम और बहल exercise. With which country India has started that particular exercise? Please tell me in the chat box if you really remember about that. ठीक है, apart from that there is another important exercise that we need to cover, that is the 31st edition of SIMBEX. SIM stands for Singapore and basically that is S for Singapore, I for India, M for Maritime. तो ये SIMBEX exercise recently conduct की गई है विशाखापट्टनम के अंदर. इसको भी 2 phases में cover किया जाएगा. The harbor phase has been conducted in विशाखापट्टनम और जो सी फेज है इट विल बी कंडक्टेड इन द बे ऑफ बंगाल. तो सिम्बेक्स एक्सरसाइज में कौन सी कंट्रीज पार्टिसिपेट कर रही हैं? इट इज सिंगापुर एंड इंडिया और एक मैरीटाइम एक्सरसाइज है. So I can see in the chat box that people are giving me the right answer from the previous question. That is the Naseem or Bahl exercise was been conducted between India and Oman. Absolutely right, Sujit and Sanvi, you have given me the right answers. So from here we have to cover the name of the exercise, the venue of the exercise which is very important, ठीक है, and the countries which are participating in the exercise. Now guys, when we talk about the background of the SIMBEX exercise, it was started in 1994 as the exercise Lion King. ठीक है, और उसके बाद ये इवॉल्व हुई है and now it has been known as SIMBEX exercise. Earlier it was launched as the exercise Lion King. तो आजकल हम देखते हैं कि एग्जाम में कुछ प्रीवियस टेंट से भी आ रहा है, so that is why it is very important कि हम ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन को भी कवर करें which is basically specifically mentioned in your news articles, right? Moving to the next part. So guys, the Department of Post has issued a commemorative stamp to mark 200 years of Kittur vijayotsav. So Kittur vijayotsav is basically been celebrated in order to give tribute to Rani Channamma. ठीक है, Rani Channamma's glorious victory and her battle against the British rule. So basically it was been there on 23rd October 1884, and that is why we commemorate this particular event by celebrating the anniversary. And now we are, as we are celebrating the 200th anniversary, So that is why the Kittur's historic resistance against British rule, to understand this and to commemorate this, Department of Post has basically launched a commemorative postage stamp. Guys, we all know that Department of Post is having the legacy of commemorating the life of the freedom fighters through these commemorative postage stamps, right? And similarly for the Kittur Vijayotsav, again they have come up for the commemorative postage stamp on the occasion of its 200th anniversary. So this is again a very important point here. So the commemorative stamp is designed by Shri Brahm Prakash, and it features a striking portrait of Rani Channamma on her horse drawing a sword against the British rule, as you can already see in this particular picture. Okay? I hope this is clear to all of you. Now let's move on to the next part, and here the next important news article is about the Suvidha app, which has been upgraded by the Election Commission of India. Let me tell you guys, पहले जो क्या था, पहले देयर वाज सिस्टम दैट जो कैंडिडेट्स थे हमारे वो सिर्फ ट्रैक कर सकते थे स्टेटस को और अप्रूवल्स को डाउनलोड कर सकते थे विद द हेल्प ऑफ सुविधा ऐप, जो कि पहले था. But now the Suvidha app has been upgraded by the Election Commission of India, and the Election Commission of India has launched Suvidha 2.0 mobile application, and this application is going to allow the candidates as well as the parties, and they can now apply for campaign related permission. So guys, आप सभी जानते हैं that during the elections the parties and the candidates, they do a lot of campaigning activities, right? तो वो campaigning activities के लिए they require so many permissions, तो उन permissions को वो इस सुविधा ऐप के जरिए यहाँ पर ले सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू कैन सी वो अपना नॉमिनेशन स्टेटस ट्रैक कर सकते हैं, रिमिशन स्टेटस ट्रैक कर सकते हैं, इलेक्शन का स्केड्यूल यहाँ पर मिल सकता है, अपडेटेड फॉर्म मिल जाएंगे ESI के, और जितने भी रिक्वायर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स है दे कैन गेट इट फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट, और अपने परमिशन स्टेटस को भी यहाँ पर ट्रैक कर सकते हैं. तो ये एक वन स्टॉप सोल्यूशन है जहां पर ट्रैकिंग कर सकते हैं, डाउनलोडिंग कर सकते हैं सारे कैंपेन रिलेटेड परमिशंस की जो उन्हें चाहिए, विच इंक्लूड्स प्रेस नोट्स एंड द लेटेस्ट इंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑर्डर्स एट द टिप ऑफ देयर फिंगर्स. तो ECI की कोई भी अपडेट है तो वो डायरेक्टली इस ऐप पे उनको मिल जाएगी, और दे विल बी रियली स्टे अपडेटेड अबाउट द रिसेंट थिंग्स विच आर टेकिंग प्लेस एंड द अपडेट विच हैज बीन ब्रॉट अप बाय द इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया. Then guys, it is also going to first work on first in first out principle, ensuring transparent permissions. तो यहाँ पर कैंपेनिंग जो होती है, रैलीज जो होती हैं, उसमें बहुत ये होता है कि पहले कौन करेगा, पहले कौन सी पार्टी कहाँ पर करेगी. तो यहाँ पर फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट प्रिंसिपल के तौर पे इसको किया गया है, सो दैट कि यहाँ पर कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन ना हो कोई भी पार्टी वाइज, और एक रेफरेंस आईडी जनरेट की जाएगी विच विल बी हेल्पिंग द यूजर टू ट्रैक द स्टेटस ऑफ द रिक्वेस्ट. जो उन्होंने जो भी रिक्वेस्ट डाली है, कैंपेनिंग की, रैलिंग की, या कोई परमिशन रिक्वेस्ट है किसी और रिगार्डिंग, तो बेसिकली वो उसको यहाँ पर उसके अगेंस्ट एक रेफरेंस आईडी को लॉन्च किया जाएगा, सो दैट दे कैन रियली इजीली ट्रैक दैट पर्टिकुलर परमिशन. आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. And you can see some other important things that which can be done. For example, helicopter or helipad की facility चाहिए, then air balloons, temporary party offices, door to door canvassing, permission of the video van. तो इस सारी चीजों का एक one stop solution है, that is the Suvidha 2.0 app which has been launched by Election Commission of India. I hope this point is clear to all of you. And now guys, let's move on to the news article which is related to the cricket and the sports. And we all know that every year ICC inducts some players into its Hall of Fame, and this year again for the class of 2024 they have inducted 3 players, and this include ABD Villiers of South Africa, Alastair Cook of England, and the Neetu David of India, who have been inducted into the ICC Hall of Fame for class 2024. And these are the 113, 14 and 15. तो नंबर इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट नाम बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. दैट इज Alastair Cook, Neetu David and ABD Villiers. Alastair Cook कहाँ से हैं? He is from England. Neetu David is from India and ABD Villiers is from South Africa. ठीक है जी. तो डेविड, जब हम बात करते हैं नीतू डेविड की, basically she was a left arm spinner from India and she was the first Indian woman to claim 100 wickets in the one day internationals. तो ODIs के अंदर पहली इंडियन वुमेन जिसने 100 विकेट्स लिए थे, शी वाज नीतू डेविड. नाम याद रखिए, एग्जाम के अंदर आ सकता है. ठीक है. और ये जो हॉल ऑफ फेम है इसको 2009 जनवरी में एस्टैब्लिश किया गया था ड्यूरिंग द आईसीसी सेंटेनरी सेलिब्रेशन, honoring the greatest players in the cricket history. And you can see here that she was the first Indian to claim 100 wickets, and Alastair Cook and ABD Villiers are also legendary players of the cricket, so that's why they have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now guys, moving to the next part. So World Steel is an organization, the global body World Steel Association, which is headquartered in the Brussels, that is in Belgium. They have elected Tata Steel MD and CEO टीवी नरेंद्रन एज इट्स चेयरमैन। तो टीवी नरेंद्रन को उन्होंने अपना चेयरमैन यहां पर इलेक्ट किया है, एंड विद दिस टीवी नरेंद्रन हैज बिकम द सेकंड इंडियन टू बी इलेक्टेड to the post after the Sajjan Jindal who was elected as a virtual chairman in 2021. तो 2021 में सज्जन जिंदल पहले इंडियन बने थे, and he has become the second Indian. TV Narendran has become the second Indian to be elected as the chairman of the global body World Steel Association. ठीक है? So guys, that was all the important news articles. Now let's quickly try to identify the right answer to the question that I have brought here for all of you, so that you can really analyze कि क्या हम सारी इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन को यहाँ पर कलेक्ट कर पाए हैं, समझ पाए हैं, रिटेन कर पाए हैं, which is important to be covered from the exam point of view. ठीक है? तो अब आपकी बारी है to basically showcase that whether you guys have really got the important details of the topics or not. तो पहला क्वेश्चन आप सभी के सामने है ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स से, और आपके सामने 3 स्टेटमेंट से आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि कौन सी स्टेटमेंट यहां पर करेक्ट है। तो पहली स्टेटमेंट काफी इजी लाइन पर है, दैट इज जो हमारा इंडेक्स है उसको लॉन्च कौन करता है? वर्ल्ड हंगर हेल्थ कंसर्न वर्ल्ड वाइड एंड IFHV, एब्सोल्युटली राइट। ये ट्रैक करता है स्टेट ऑफ हंगर वर्ल्ड वाइड एंड बाय रीजन एंड कंट्री। द स्कोर्स आर डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम 4 इंडिकेटर्स। वो कौन से इंडिकेटर्स है हमने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया, विच इंक्लूड्स अंडर नरिशमेंट, चाइल्ड स्टंटिंग, वेस्टिंग एंड चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी। मूविंग ऑन टू द थर्ड स्टेटमेंट, इट स्टेट्स India has been ranked 105 with a score of 27.3 और लास्ट ईयर इंडिया की रैंक थी 111। तो जल्दी से मुझे बताइए कि कौन सी स्टेटमेंट यहां पर करेक्ट है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स। आई थिंक आप सभी ने काफी अच्छे से इस पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स को यहां पर स्टडी किया है आज के सेशन के अंदर, और आप सभी इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर दे पाएंगे एग्जाम के अंदर। तो मुझे बताइए इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर क्या है। सो गौरव प्रकाश इज सेइंग ऑप्शन डी इज द राइट आंसर। तो क्या ऑप्शन डी को लॉक किया जाए? All the people are moving with option D. So yes, option D is the right answer, as all the statements which are mentioned here are absolutely right with respect to the global hunger index. Moving to the next question. Next question है आपका सुविधा 2.0 मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन के ऊपर, where we have to identify the correct statement. So here the first statement, it is launched by ECI with the help of which only the parties can now apply for campaign related permission also for greater convenience. तो यहां पर मैं आपको बताऊंगा गाइस दैट ऑलवेज मेक श्योर व्हेनेवर यू आर आंसरिंग एनी क्वेश्चन, मेक श्योर दैट यस यू आर रीडिंग द क्वेश्चन वेरी प्रॉपर्ली। सेकंड स्टेटमेंट है एक वन स्टॉप सॉल्यूशन है फॉर सीकिंग, ट्रैकिंग एंड डाउनलोडिंग ऑल कैंपेन रिलेटेड परमिशंस, एब्सोल्युटली राइट। थर्ड स्टेटमेंट, रेफरेंस आईडी जनरेट की जाएगी दैट विल हेल्प यूजर्स टू ट्रैक द स्टेटस ऑफ देयर रिक्वेस्ट। लेट मी सी हु विल बी गिविंग मी द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन। तो लास्ट क्वेश्चन को आप सभी ने सही आंसर किया था, बट व्हाट अबाउट दिस क्वेश्चन? So let me tell you guys that a small change in the detail can definitely help you, or can definitely basically lead you to getting the negative mark in the exam. So I can see here that the people are saying option D is the right answer. Some people are saying option B is the right answer. So Gaurav has given again the correct answer, that is option B. So why option B is correct, guys? Because in the very first statement it states that it is launched by Election Commission of India, absolutely right, with the help of which only the parties can apply for campaign related permission. Only the parties is basically incorrect. The parties and the candidates, both of them can apply with the help of the Suvidha app. That is the reason this statement is incorrect, and the right answer is option B, that is 2 and 3. तो इसी तरीके के क्वेश्चंस के लिए आपको रेडी रहना एग्जाम के अंदर, बिकॉज विद द वर्ड्स दे विल बी प्लेइंग विद यू, एंड बट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट यू आर अटेंटिव एनफ टू आइडेंटिफाई द राइट आंसर्स, राइट। तो बढ़ते हैं अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ। सो इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट काउंसिल हैज अनाउंस्ड द लेटेस्ट इंडक्टीज इनटू द आईसीसी हॉल ऑफ फेम। हु अमंग द फॉलोइंग हैव बीन इंडक्टेड इन द हॉल ऑफ फेम एंड मेंशन करेक्टली। तो 3 स्टेटमेंट्स आपके सामने गिवन है, आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है क्या है इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर। तो हमें आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि कौन से नाम यहां पर एकदम करेक्टली दिए गए हैं। तो लास्ट ईयर कुक आप देख सकते हो, इट इज फ्रॉम इंग्लैंड, नीतू डेविड फ्रॉम इंडिया, एबी डिविलियर्स फ्रॉम वेस्ट इंडीज। तो यहां पर कौन से स्टेटमेंट्स करेक्ट हैं? स्टेटमेंट नंबर 1 and 2 आर करेक्ट। व्हाई? बिकॉज इन द स्टेटमेंट 3 डिविलियर्स इज फ्रॉम साउथ अफ्रीका, नॉट द वेस्ट इंडीज, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज इनकरेक्ट। राइट आंसर इज ऑप्शन सी, दैट इज 1 and 2 ओनली। So again, Sujit, Gaurav, Sanvi, all the people have given me the right answer, that is option C. So guys, that was all from the today's session, and now it's the time for homework question. And let me tell you that the people who will be giving me the right answer to this question, I will be coming up with your names as a star performer, you will be called the star performer of the today's session. तो आप मुझे बताइएगा इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर कमेंट सेक्शन के अंदर सभी कमेंट करके. And now when we talk about the star performers of the previous session, so before that we have to understand about the homework question from previous session. So last time we have covered the BRICS 16 summit और हमें identify करना था कौन सी statements यहाँ पर correct हैं. So right answer was option B, that is 1 and 3. Why? Because the theme of the summit was mentioned incorrectly, which states strengthening bilateralism for strengthening bilateralism for just global development and security. So it is not bilateralism, it is multilateralism. That's why the statement was incorrect. Right answer is option B, that is 1 and 3 only. So this was the right answer. So guys, these are the star performers from the previous session. Abhay, Kartika, Happy, Shalini, then we have Jatin, Aditya, Ganesh. So all the people, guys, well done for giving me the right answer in the comment section. That shows that yes, you are really able to understand all these important questions and the data, and with the help of, after covering the session, you are really able to answer the question. That shows that yes, you are also able to understand the things that you are required to cover from exam point of view. Now guys, if you are still new to your YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And you can also join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of the session. अगर आपको आज के सेशन का PDF चाहिए तो आपको मिलेगा Telegram channel पे, और जिसका लिंक आपको मिलेगा description के अंदर. So guys, that was all from the today's session, and I believe कि आप सभी को आज का सेशन पसंद आया होगा. And you can definitely tell me about that in the comment section. और अगर आपको कोई भी queries है, you can ask your queries, and you can also, अगर आपकी कोई query regarding exam preparation की है, या फिर आप हमारे से कोई ना कोई mentorship guidance लेना चाहते हैं, तो you can also share your query at hello@edutap.co.in, or you can call us at 814-620-7241. The team will get in touch, and definitely we will be having a conversation with you, right? So I'm waiting for 1 more minute for all of you to share your queries if there is any. Otherwise we can conclude this particular session. So I hope कि आज का जो हमारा सेशन था गाइज, ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स आपको एकदम अच्छे से यहाँ पर समझ में आ गया है, राइट? और बाकी के जो इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज आर्टिकल्स हमने कवर किए विच आर ओनली रेलेवेंट फॉर फेज 1, तो जो एडे का एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, डेफिनेटली उनके लिए काफी हेल्पफुल होगा, क्योंकि उनका एग्जाम अभी रिसेंटली होने वाला है. बट फॉर द RBI एंड NABARD aspirants, guys, definitely these sessions are going to be very helpful, because they will provide you the understanding that what we need to cover, how we need to cover, what is the approach that we can use to cover these particular topics, and what are the major details that I have to handpick from these particular articles from where question can be asked in the exam. So as I can see here that there are no more queries in the chat box, so I think it's a good time to conclude the session. So guys, we will be back with such more important session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.